Good morning, campers. Happy Monday. And you know what it means? Masculine Monday. So we're going to do a reading for beautiful collective of divine masculines. And I was thinking in the beginning that maybe we're going to do the same thing as I'm doing now this week for all my collectives. So the 9-year cycle. But then it came to me, what's going on in your connection? So maybe this collective, you haven't spoken to your feminine for a while and you're wondering what's going on, how is she feeling, what's the energy. Maybe there's some movement coming in, maybe you're planning a movement and you're a little bit procrastinating. Let's see what's going on. We're gonna do your energy. How are you feeling? Where are you on a journey? And then we're gonna do what's the energy of the connection and how is she feeling, what's the emotion, and then we're gonna do guidance. All right, without further ado, how is this? I have an Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. How is this collective feeling? What's your energy? What's your energy? Oh, Three of Swords. Why? Why so sad? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. It's just that sometimes I feel it in this energy. So it must be the moment. On this journey, we cry, and we suffer, and then the tables turn. And when we enter our divinity, you wake up and you're heartbroken. You start to miss us. The heart was broken all along. It's just that you would numb it. You would be heartbroken. Sorry, I'm not going to be laughing. It's horrible. We go through this and then you go through this. This is how this journey looks like. Everything we go through, you have to go through. The tables have to turn. But this being your first card, you would be heartbroken. I want to do a few more cards, but I am sensing heavy energy, heavy and nostalgic. It's like you're heartbroken. Maybe you find yourself thinking about your feminine a lot. Maybe you're having a bit of a darker thoughts. Lost hope, I'm hearing. Let's see. The Sun. No, the Sun is good. Sun is masculine energy. More than anything, it's coming to my mind. So maybe you recently are finding yourself more in your masculine energy, right? I always say this to you guys. When it comes to our divine energy, divine feminine and divine masculine, we don't step into this energy from one day to another. It's a process, right? So there's still maybe blockages, heartbreaks, a little bit of fear, a little bit of things that need to be cleared out. But in the beginning, right, as this connection starts, we're in the masculine energy because we're chasing, we're in anxiety, we're wanting, we're planning movement. Whereas you in your wounded feminine, right, you're in your avoidance, you're completely not interested, you're numbing the emotion. So having the Sun here, what I'm hearing is that maybe I'm hearing learning as well. They're showing me Page of Swords. So maybe you recently been diving deeper into what it really means to be a divine masculine, learning it in all areas of your life, wanting to step into your masculine energy confirmation. But I'm also hearing Sun as a Sun card is a card of happiness, is a card of hope. So you would have hope. Let's do two more. High Priestess, that's very nice. One more. And Temperance, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You have 3 beautiful major arcanas: the Sun, High Priestess, the Temperance. Yes, you're heartbroken, but it's understandable, you guys. On this journey, like I said, for the first stages of this journey, the masculines, you guys, you numb the pain, you numb the feelings, you try to convince yourself that it's nothing, that you're gonna find someone else easily, you know, that this woman is just not for you, that we're not for you, that you did that. No, right? And then it catches up with you, the heartbreak, the missing, the pain, as years go by. And you thought that you would forget. You crave us more, you want us more, you think of us more. But it's a good thing, because you have, maybe you're healing your masculine energy as well, I'm hearing. Connecting deeper to your masculine, trying to understand what was stopping you, I'm hearing. What was stopping you from being him. So understanding that divine masculine is courage, is confidence, is consistency, is dedication, is commitment. Trying to, confirmation, I'm blocking, trying to figure out what was stopping you. With this High Priestess, you would be connected to your higher self, whether you know it or not. So your higher self is working with you, guiding you. There is hope in this energy. What else is on your mind? What's in your energy? Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. I'm kind of hearing a few things for that. So let me do one more for the Queen of Pentacles and Three of Swords. King of Swords. I was hearing a few things with this Queen of Pentacles, because I was simultaneously hearing that this is the image of your feminine, but I was also hearing that this is your internal change. Queen of Pentacles is, she's kind, she's patient, it's very earthly energy. She's accomplished and successful in the real meaning of the word, not distorted understanding of success. But King of Swords is beautiful energy as well, because this is, you know, when we go on this journey from the page Knight and Queen and King. Queen is the feminine energy, but it's the internal energy as well, right? It's the energy of what's going on inside of you. And once we reach the king is maturity, king is readiness to externalize everything that you've been working on, everything that's been shifting, everything that's been changing. So what I'm hearing with this, it's, and I say this to you guys often, I'm specifically thinking about a reading that I've done for the masculine. So one of the couple of recent readings, when I was explaining to you guys that the change of the masculine is an internal change. So to an outside observer, which is, and I've done a lot of videos about this in my Divine Love playlist on YouTube. Us feminines, as we start this journey, we go through this glow up. So the change is seen externally. We literally, our face changes, our right? It's this glow up. Literally, it's this glow up. We start to get out there with our messages, with our truth, be more authentic. Everyone can see that we're changing, that we're blooming, right? Whereas the masculine, which is a part of the illusion of the journey, that also feminine must overcome. Looking at your masculine, it seems like he's not changing, he's not moving, he's not progressing, nothing has changed, he's still the same man, stuck in the same patterns. because you're changing internally. Things are brewing inside of you. You're noticing things, you're seeing things, you're feeling things. It's just that you're not ready to externalize these things. And with the King of Swords, I do feel you have been working on that energy of the Queen of Pentacles, which means that you would now understand what does it really mean, success and abundance in life. That it's not money on your bank account, that it's not power, but it's the comfort of being surrounded with people who love you. That's success. It's the comfort of being able to spend the whole morning in bed with a person you love. It's the slow mornings I'm hearing. It's the confidence in your abilities that you will find a solution for everything. It's the energy of home I'm hearing as well, of peace. Let's continue. It's really nice. I like this energy. We started with a little heartbreak, which is, it's normal, it's understandable. The star. You have beautiful cards. I'm hearing you now know what's your northern star. Knight of Cups. Let me do one more. Queen of Wands. We have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. I want one more for the Queen of Wands because it felt on Temperance. And I feel this is the energy you've been healing and balancing. Five of Cups. What I was hearing with this one, we have really nice cards. We have really beautiful cards. We have two queens. We have High Priestess. I feel like you've been working on yourself. You've been working on your inner world. You've been working on healing both. I'm hearing your feminine and your masculine. Recently, you would be working on externalizing your masculine, really understanding what does it mean to be divine masculine, to be true masculine, everything that I've mentioned, consistency, dedication, trustworthy, commitment, right? So you would be working on that, how to be that divine masculine. It's something that it's that energy of we have it in us always, right? It's not like we create it. We have to remember. It's not like you've always been the divine masculine. You've lost yourself through traumas, through woundings, through everything that your body, that you as a person, you had to go through, but you only needed to remember it's within you. It's that northern star where you go towards, right, in all the lifetimes. But what I'm hearing as well is that maybe that wand energy within you was a little bit out of balance. So maybe you're someone that you would in the past act on an impulse, or maybe you were a little hot-headed. You got an impulse to do something, you would do it, and then you wouldn't follow through. You lack that consistency, that dedication of a divine masculine. Maybe those are the things that you've been also trying to heal and trying to analyze within yourself. I'm hearing maybe things that maybe you have some memories of regret related to that quality of yours, that you would feel something and that you would say something or you would do something and that you would regret it, whether that's with your feminine or with other people. But there's an energy of consciousness here, which is beautiful. So you would be trying recently to figure out the why. Why do I do that? Why do I act this way? Why do I have the urge to do something and then I do it on an impulse and then I don't? It's the avoidance, it's the fear, right? So there's a passion within you that guides you towards something, but because in the past you're not regulated emotionally and you have the fear and lack of confidence that you can actually follow through with these actions, you pull back. I feel there's memories in your life that you would be recently going through that of exactly that, of doing something on an impulse, saying something, doing something, and then not following through, just disappearing, because there is the energy of regret that you're healing. But I always say this to you guys, to my beautiful masculines, and I will say it one more time, because you struggle as you awaken, as you start to, feel that heartbreak. Think of us and be in our energy. You go back, and there's this moment. This is why I've done so much content and self-help content as well, for the forgiveness, self-forgiveness to the masculine, because you wake up and suddenly you now know that we are not just one of other ladies, karmic ladies that you spend time with. We're the one. We're the other half of your soul. We're part of your destiny. We're part of your path, right? And you go towards, what have I done? It's this moment. What have I done? How could I have treated this woman that way? Because through wounding, right? Through your own wounding and your own projections, you don't see us for who we are, right? Yes, we're wounded as well. Yes, but us feminists, it's different kind of wounding, right? It's different kind of mistakes that we make. So as you awaken, you're in this moment of realization that you were saying to yourself that how do I explain this to you guys? Because when the masculine energy is wounded, and it happens always with you guys, right? So usually in early years you go for a heartbreak, and because you're very sensitive, masculines are very sensitive, especially on this journey, divine masculines, you have such huge hearts, you don't know how to stand the pain, so you lock your hearts, right? And you turn into this shallow, materialistic, Casanova player kind of energy, oftentimes focus on everything but not your inner world, right? So you usually also attract, because it's part of your journey, karmic experiences and karmic women. So you start to associate love and women with chains, with manipulation, with lack of loyalty, right? Confirmation. So as you meet us, it's just this fear. You cannot believe that we're different, that we're not that kind of a woman that you're used to, that we're not going to cheat on you, that we're not going to lie to you, that, right? So you treat us as you would all the other women, because you sort of put the category of women, it's the distorted masculine. It usually also comes with a father wound. There's a reason it's coming to my mind. You sort of adapt the approach of the father or father figure, someone who was present in your life when you were young, to teach you those masculine qualities, which obviously now are distorted. So the moment you start to wake and you're like, oh, how could I think that she was this and that and treat her all this way? And there's a lot of regret, right? But that moment, I say this to you guys all the time, everything that happens between us, it had to happen. It had to happen. Everything you did to your masculine, your feminine, it was needed for her to remember who she was. All this journey is divinely orchestrated, is tailored by our higher selves, is designed by our higher selves to fit the purpose. It had to happen. It doesn't mean you don't have to take accountability, analyze this, change, evolve, apologize. Accountability is one of the most important qualities of a divine masculine, right? Not escaping accountability, not gaslighting, not finding excuses. Take it as a man, right? I'm ready to have that conversation, to admit, first to myself, then to my feminine. But it all has to happen. It all had to happen, right? Deviation, but it was needed. Okay, that's really nice. I forgot one important thing. Because we have the Knight of Cups here. So you would want to come forth. You would want to come forward with an offer. You would be thinking about this. There are certain things that maybe you're doubting. Maybe you're still doubting yourself. Have I completely healed that hot-headedness, that impulsiveness? Am I ready? Am I masculine enough? We're going to check your energy in a moment, where you are on a journey. have I healed enough? Am I ready for this? But it's a detail, it's important, because I looked at it and it came to my mind. You would want to come forth with an romantic offer, with an emotional offer. You would want to express your emotions right now to your feminine. All right, let's do a couple of Divine Masculine cards from my Divine Masculine deck, Fear to Love, to see where you actually are on this journey, where you actually are. What's the true energy of this masculine? Behind the Mask, number 50. Let's read through this card, the Behind the Mask. For a very long time, you didn't feel comfortable in your own skin. You didn't feel you would be accepted or cherished if you were to show the world the real you. You have been masking your feelings, desires, the true self out of fear of being judged or ridiculed. It's time for the mask to drop. Through Journey of Healing, we learned that our authenticity is the unique frequency of our soul, and it will never be rejected by the divine nor by our true soul connections. It's the magnetic power that pulls in your destined path. Speak your truth, feel your feelings, be you authentically, unapologetically, and wild, childlike joy. And with childlike joy, you are pure magic. And what I was hearing with this one is that you're actually doing that, which is beautiful. And my mind went back to the King of Swords. Remember what I told you, that you're ready to externalize everything you've been working on. The Divine Masculine, for a very long time, again, going back, so it would be important for this collective because it's coming to my mind. Remember what I said, that you usually go for a trauma in an early age, whether that's your early teens or even when you're a child. It may be a family trauma, life trauma, love-related trauma. It can be few things that lock your heart completely, the pure, beautiful essence. You're very sensitive beings, and you're very unique beings. You're very sensual beings, very special beings, right? And unfortunately, we live in a cruel world where most men are distorted. So most men hear that you're not allowed to feel your feelings, that you're not allowed to express yourself in the way you want to express yourself. Completely distorted energy, lack of understanding what true masculine really is. So you hide that, and you start to put up a mask. You build a mask, and you wear that mask of this strong Casanova and toxic masculine, distorted masculine, without you knowing. You feel it's actual masculine, right? If you feel it's going to help you to be stronger, you armor up, you build your armor, right? And you put on a mask. And you wear this mask for so long that you forget that you're wearing a mask. The mask becomes you. And I oftentimes give you guys the example of the Men in the Iron Mask movie. When they take off the mask, it's like he doesn't know how to act, who to be. He needs to adjust because he was completely unfamiliar with the real authentic him. So I feel you're going through this. I feel like the mask, you dropped the mask. You started... I feel this is already happening, that you started to be you, who you really want to be, say things that you want to say. Maybe you even change the way you act, the way you dress, the way you speak to people. And it does, I always say this to you guys, it pulls in your true connections. So maybe, you've noticed that people who are your true friends appreciate this glow up and this authenticity, and that you're pulling in more people in your life that are actually meant to confirmation, meant to be in your life. I feel this collective, you had for a very long time, you had fear. Maybe you are a very unique personality, and maybe you have a lot of qualities that this distorted matrix world would tell you that they're not okay. But remember, again, this phrase is coming to my mind. What's this phrase? That before you diagnose yourself with, the fact that you're a bad person or you're a weird person, just check first, aren't you maybe surrounded by AH? Do you know what I mean? And it's true. And unfortunately, our beautiful divine masculine, as part of your journey, is to have karmic connections, to be surrounded by people who are shallow, who are on their first lifetimes, who are manipulative, who are so deeply wounded that they're beyond saving in this lifetime. Yes, we should have compassion. Yes, we should understand where these things come from, but we should also have boundaries coming from self-love, right? I feel like you've recently rediscovered yourself. You found courage to externalize who you really are, what the things that you like, things that you want to do, which is absolutely beautiful. You're pure magic. You're pure magic. Locked heart. There it is. Our locked heart, number 8. Confirmation. We knew this already, but I feel like you know this already. I feel for a very long time you didn't even realize that your heart was locked. And then you open it. This is why it was broken. This is why it was your first energy, but it's good. It's good because when we lock our hearts for a very long time, the moment we decide to open it, obviously gunk will come out, right? Grief, sadness, heartbreak, it will all come out for you to heal it, for you to feel it. Whenever your heart feels pain, grief, sadness, and heartbreaks are created. If we don't give ourselves time, space, and grace to feel those emotions and start to scream louder, and they start to scream louder and louder, the pain becomes unbearable, eventually turning into aggression and resentment. So we lock our hearts not to feel it anymore. Unfortunately, the heart is the bridge between realms, physical and spiritual. If you lock it, you lock yourself away from experiencing life beyond shallow physical level. Your soul is handing you the key to open your heart again and reminding you that love is the ultimate purpose of human existence. That's exactly that. You've reopened your heart. You've locked it because the pain was unbearable. And I've mentioned this in my shadow work exercise that I posted yesterday. You can check it out. It would be recommendable for you to do that. Those exercises, they're really good for closing that 9-year cycle that we're closing now. But one of the questions that I've given you, and one of the things that I was explaining, I think I haven't explained it yet. I haven't posted part 2 yet. So a little sneak peek. An explanation of the responses. There are 2 ways that people change in life, right? When we are faced with a lesson, when we are faced with a trauma, with a trigger, with pain, the proper way of handling it for us actually to learn the lesson and to grow is to feel the feelings, to feel the pain, to feel the grief, to understand it, to process it, and ultimately just dissolve it into our body, let it go, integrate it, allow it to be. But if we deny it, right? If we just sweep it under the rug, if we don't want to feel it, if we refuse to feel it because we feel that it's too much, or we don't know how to handle it, we weren't taught mechanisms of really going through pain and heartbreak and grief and whatever that is, it's still there. It's just that it's locked, and we become bitter, we become aggressive, resentful. Maybe that also links to your behaviors. Maybe you're understanding that, why you were so hot-headed, why you were sometimes reactive, because the pain that you didn't understand was within you all along. Father wound, there it is. Didn't I say it? Father wound, number 10. Maybe month 8 and 10 are important, so August, October, number 50 as well. So you would have father wound. We all have father wound. I always say this to you guys. I'm going to say it again. It would require a divine feminine mother and a divine masculine father not to give a child a father wound, right? Of course, there's a spectrum, but father wound is not because your father was, abusive or he abandoned you. It's father wound comes from a distorted energy within your father. To an outside observer, he can be or father and mother, they can be good people, but they still have a distortion, right? But I was sensing it in your energy. Remember, in the energy of your father, you would have a father who, whether you knew it or not, whether he still knows it or not, toxic masculine. The one that thinks that, you